following what has transpired through this last week, I'm going to open up the church next Sunday. Now, I have to read some things, and I will reiterate these things. But first and foremost, at the top of the list, listen, throughout this whole, if you want to call it pandemic or crisis, I've told you, if we use common sense goes a long way. It's unfortunate that people don't always exercise that. So the first and foremost, I'm going to tell you, if you are sick, please do not show up at the church for the benefit of others, for the protection of others. And I'm not talking about you think you have coronavirus. If you're sick at all, I'm talking about things like a cold or a flu, anything symptomatic, please stay home. That's respecting all of the people around you. That's number one. Number two, so we're going back to passes. You make your reservation. Your passes will be mailed to you. Now, if you have your pass in hand next Sunday, and you have to listen to this very carefully. Typically, the way we've been doing things, I want you to just put that out the window, okay? So don't show up and say, oh, well, this is the way we've done things before. These are the new policies until I change them. If you have received your pass in the mail and you have it in hand, you go straight to the front door. Don't go in a line somewhere, go straight to the front door. And if there's a line to the front door, use common sense and don't all cluster together, okay? But if you have a pass in hand, you go straight to the front door. If you have to pick up your pass at the door, the line will form down Eulalia. So please listen to the ushers. A lot of times people don't listen and there's frustration and tension. I'm just telling you, please be patient. And that is actually an order to everybody here. I don't want people showing up and thinking, this is the way we used to do it, or this is the way it's done. The ushers will have instructions. Please follow their directions. It is so that we can do this in a way that basically accommodates everything and anyone as I'm giving the instructions. There will be no bus service. There's a kind of a dilemma here, and I'll explain. Usually the buses come from two different places. They drop off people. Our kids get on one bus and go. We take them to area museums every single week. I wouldn't have a problem with the buses still coming and bringing people, but here's the issue. Again, that falls into a kind of interesting area. I don't know what the buses will be doing, so I'll keep you updated, but until I tell you otherwise, there is no bus service. That being said, if your children are old enough to sit in the sanctuary, and I'm going to now make some new temporary rules. If they are old enough, that is, they can sit still, and they're not going to be crying out loud, and you parents can kind of keep them under control. But if they're either going to be noisy or too young, in the nursery, and I'm going to elaborate on that in a minute. If you are a family, you sit together. Please follow the usher's instruction, and I'd like you next Sunday to come a little bit early so you can I don't want everybody showing up in the last 10 minutes and then we have to try and figure out how to get everybody in safely in 10 minutes. That's not going to work. So if you are a family, we're going to seat you together, because if you're a family, you've been housed together. If you're a couple, a husband and wife, if you've been staying together, you sit together. But if you're not together as a family or a couple, we will have you separated at least by a seat or two. I'm leaving that in the very competent hands of those who will be organizing the space between you. And we'll spread out the sanctuary, and if we need extra room, we've got plenty of room here, and we've got an overflow room, so we can accommodate everybody, okay? But please come early, and please follow the ushers. They have the tough job, because this will be the first time since we closed the church down, of trying to get everybody in and get everybody seated in a way that we've never done before. So as I said, please show up early, and please be patient and listen to what's being said. And if there's anything we need to work out after next Sunday, we'll work out the bugs. Right now, I'm only interested in doing one thing, achieving the purpose, which is opening the church. The nursery will be open for babies and toddlers. And last but not least, for the offering. So typically we take up 2 offerings. And again, these are kind of the rules passed down by the CDC. I'm not really thinking, I'll be honest with you, I'm not really thinking CDC. I'm thinking about potentially kind of protecting everybody still, as this is still a big question mark in my mind. I want to make sure that everyone's safe. So in lieu of offering bags that are typically passed around, there will be several Joash chests placed at the entrance. And if you can't get to those boxes, there's the lock box that you could typically drop at the front of the church. So there will be, we'll still take up an offering, but the offering should be essentially, if you've brought 1 or 2 offerings, put them in the chest. End of story. That way no one has to handle, and everybody's touching a handle. I want to eliminate that for right now. We may reintroduce that at some point, but right now we're just trying to follow some guidelines. Now, there are people who, let's just put them in certain groups. Some of you may have weakened immune systems, you may be elderly, you may just be concerned for your health. I have absolutely no problem of you coming in wearing a mask or wearing gloves. But I want to make this clear so that everybody understands something. I'm not mandating you to do that, okay? This is one place that is, I'm going to call it the protected zone. I want us to use good judgment, and good judgment is I don't come if I'm sick, I'm not walking around touching a bunch of stuff, I'm not going up to people and trying to say hello to your friends from afar, but I'm not wanting to make this into you must do this and you must do that. If you feel like you have a compromised immune system, or you are a person who maybe has different issues, health issues that potentially put you at risk, then by all means, if you feel better and more comfortable wearing a mask, do so, okay? No one's going to be telling somebody yay or nay. There is no right or wrong here. The most important thing, mask or no mask, gloves or no gloves, the most important thing is that we really take care to kind of do all that we can. And each person being responsible will really be a help. So these are the guidelines. This is what will happen. And as I said, passes will still be mailed out. So if for some reason you do not receive your pass, then please make sure that when you do get here, you're not lining up on the Glendale side. The line will form on Eulalia. And as I said, please follow the usher's instructions. They will be given clarity on what to do. Just follow those directions. All should be well. That being said, I'm extremely excited and I can't wait. So I think I'm going to play a song to let you who need to make some calls or do whatever reflect. But I'm wanting my director to play "The Storm is Passing Over" because I think it's finally passing over. A good banner for us to start the day here. So we're going to play that song. You can use the phone lines to call in at this time. And for those of you who are just going to sit and enjoy the music, we'll see you in a few minutes. Get on the telephone.
Take courage, my soul. Let us journey on. Though the night be dark, it won't be very long, you know. Thanks be to God, you know the morning light appears, yes it does, and you see the storm is passing over. Hallelujah. 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 And the storm is passing over.
make your reservations for this Sunday service, call 1-800-338-3030. That's 1-800-338-3030.
And there's darkness all around. I can see the lightning flashing, and the thunder shakes the ground. But you see